Hey guys, Bird Yugioh here, coming at you with another deck profile. This time we're doing Geargia. It's another deck that benefited greatly from Master Rule 5, yet is very, very fun. So that's why I'm doing it in this little series we're doing. So yeah, if you haven't already, go and subscribe. I have still 8 more decks coming up for some really fun decks for Master Rule 5 that you guys might want to try out. So let's get right into this one. Starting off with the main card you want to really start off with, Geargia Armor. He's super good for just gaining you some advantage. You can change him to face down defensive position. That's one of his effects. And then when he's flipped face up, you can add one Geargia monster from your deck to your hand. So kind of this version is kind of geared towards protecting him. So you kind of want to set him, hopefully have some back row, and then on your turn, then flip him face up. Search a Geargia monster and then either go into some Xyz plays, or, set another armor and then you have 2 armors for your next turn, kind of depending on what the field looks like. But it's a super important card. 1900 defense, pretty nice. And then we also play 3 Geargia Arsenal. This is your main way of easily getting to an armor. And it gains 200 attack for each Geargia monster you control. But you can tribute him and then special summon one Geargia monster from your deck in defense position. So most of the time you're going to use him to summon out an armor and then use armor's effect to set him face down. I'll show you a little quick combo at the end. Just an easy way with just opening up 2 cards that you can get 3 gigant X on the board. You don't always need to do that or want to do that, but I'll show you a cool little thing you can do with that with just 2 cards. And then our main kind of extender is Geargia Accelerator, and you definitely have to play him at 3. But if you control a Geargia monster, you can just special summon this from your hand. And when this is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one Geargia in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So you could potentially link him away to add something else to hand, but most of the time you're going to be using him to go into your gigant X. But yeah, he's absolutely amazing. Definitely a necessity at 3. And then the last level 4 that we play is 2 Geargia Augur. He's really good, but he does restrict you quite a bit. And he's, I like to use him. It's kind of dependent. He's good to have going first. Sometimes he's good to have going second. But he does, so when he's normal summoned, you add 1 level 4 Earth Machine type monster. So any of these guys. And you cannot declare attacks or special summon monsters except for Machine type. So that's the only thing with him, is you're not going to be doing, any damage that turn you use his effect. But you'll at least be able to get a board going and get some advantage. That's what he's good for. But I definitely don't want him at 3. I have seen some builds that play him at 3 because he has 500 attack, so he's a machine dupe target. But I don't think that's really worth it, in my opinion. I'd rather play more traps than have machine dupe and, Geargia Augur at 3. So. And then for the level 3 Geargianos, we play 3 of really the best one. Mark II, if it's normal summoned or flip summoned, you can special summon one Geargia from your hand or graveyard in defense position. So it's the only one that's useful if you happen to draw it. You really don't want to draw these little guys. You want to be summoning them off of Geargia Gear, our really good trap card. We'll get to that. And then we also play 1 Mark III. He's okay. He's really only good if you have him plus, another, basically 3 Geargianos in hand, including him. Because when it's special summoned by the effect of a Geargia card, you can special summon one Geargia monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position, but its effects are negated. And you can't special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except for Geargia monsters. So mostly what you'll be using that effect for, because you can't even go into Gear Gigant X, but going into Geargia Gear Gigant XG is the one you would go into with him. So he's okay. And then one Geargiano. You can tribute this card and target one level 4 machine type monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. So again, it's just okay. Just the fact that it negates effects just makes it not as good. But like I said before, you really don't want to even see these. You would prefer to summon them off a Geargia gear. So that is it for the Geargia monsters. The only other 2 monsters we play is the expensive engine. We play 1 Artifact Scythe. He's going to be, if he's special summoned during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot special summon from the extra deck. So that's your main way of locking your opponent down and hopefully protecting your set armor. And then we play 1 Moral Attack. If that card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you can destroy 1 face-up card your opponent controls. So again, it helps protect some stuff. And instead of these 2 cards, if you don't even want to play the Artifact Engine, these could either be like 1 gold gadget, 1 silver gadget, might be kind of nice to play, or 2 hand traps if you want to go that route as well. So that's it for the monsters. For the spells, playing 2 Pot of Duality. It's your main way of getting to traps, because you can't special summon the turn you activate this. But you just excavate 3 cards, add 1 of them to your hand, and shuffle the rest into the deck. So, really good searcher. Not a searcher, but draw power. And then we play 2 Twin Twisters. I think it's really important, because there's a lot of cards like Mystic Mine that you just... A deck like this isn't really going to deal with. So you definitely need something to get rid of that. And then playing 2 Book of Moon. It's not only good to use on your opponent, but you can even use it on your cards as well. To flip your armor back face down. But most of the time, again, this is just like a protection card for your armor, so you can get that effect off. And then the last spell we play is just 1 Monster Reborn, just to get you some advantage. Special summon some stuff back from the grave or your opponent's grave. So kind of light on the spells. So definitely an option for the side deck would be something like Anti-Spell Fragrance. Might be a really good one. Hurt pendulums a lot and won't really affect you because you don't play that many spells. So now for the traps, the most important part of the deck. 3 Geargia gear. Absolutely amazing card. Basically, you're going to be special summoning 2 Geargiano monsters from your deck and increase their levels by 1. So they become level 4 to easily go into your Gear Gigant X. It's a absolutely amazing card. You can only activate it once per turn. But the other card you want to see with that is the Artifact Sanctum. 3 of those, definitely. You're just going to special summon one of those artifact monsters, which will get their effects off. And then also, if this card is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can just target 1 card in the field and destroy it. So, really nice. And then in conjunction with those, because we always want to see those, playing 3 Trap Tricks. This card just got a reprint, and it's actually getting another common reprint in the new structure deck that's coming out. So, yeah, definitely pick this up. I would imagine we're not going to be playing it at 3 much longer with all these reprints. But it's an amazing card. You just banish 1 normal trap, so 1 of these from your deck, and then you set 1 of them directly from your deck. And it can be activated this turn. So, really, really nice. It's your way of just getting to 1 of these. Basically, you want to open up with a Geargia gear and Artifact Sanctum if you can, at all costs. So that little engine right there is absolutely perfect. And then again, we're playing to kind of protect the armor. So I wanted to play some the Solemn package. The way I like to play it, as you've seen in a few deck profiles, 2 strike, 2 warning, 2 judgment. I know a lot of people aren't crazy about warning. I still like it. Again, for that main reason that it's just absolutely amazing against Shaddoll's. And there's a lot of Shaddall decks running around there. But by all means, if you want to replace, go with 3 strike and 3 judgment instead, or maybe you want to go with like a mirror force of some type. Instead, play like 2 and 2, and then make these like 2, some type of mirror force to again help protect. Definitely an option. And also to be real budget, like I said, you can replace the artifact monsters with like 1 gold gadget, 1 silver gadget, or 2 hand traps. And then the 3 sanctums, I would suggest, if you want to replace those, do 3 compulsory evacuation device. That's another really good target for trap tricks, and it's just a good card in general. So, but this is the way I'm playing it. There's the main deck. Sticking with 40, you got too many cards you want to see to go over 40, so I would try to stick there if you can. And for the extra deck, by far the most important one is going to be Gigant X. Absolutely amazing card. It just requires 2 level 4 machine types. You just detach 1 material and add 1 level 4 lower machine type from your deck to your hand. And then when this card leaves the field, you can target 1 level 3 Geargia monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So it's kind of a nice float effect as well. But yeah, really, really good search power, just advantage. That's all this card means, is just gaining you advantage if you can make 1 or multiple ones. And then since this is kind of like rank 4 city, you can make rank 4s very easily with this deck. Abyss Dweller is going to be a very important one moving forward. There's a lot of decks that love to do stuff with the graveyard. Then we got Tornado Dragon against those back row decks. Just popping a spell and trap on the field. Dugaris, it doesn't come up too often. Doubling the attack of one of your monsters is kind of cool. Depending on what you open up, you can make like 2 Gigant X, and instead of making the 3rd one, you can make a Dugaris and then just double one of their attacks. Might be kind of nice to get over some problematic card. 1 Digosto Emerald for recycling monsters in the grave and drawing some cards. And then the last rank 4 is Baguska, just in case you need to kind of sit on a rank 4 for a couple turns before to replenish some of your traps. This might be a nice one to do. And then you saw the Gear Gigant XG. He requires 3 level 3 monsters. That's kind of the effect with Mark III. But during either player's battle step, while an attack is involving your machine type monster, you can detach 1, negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. And then when this card leaves the field, you can target 1 other Geargia card in your graveyard and add that to your hand. So decent. Not terrible. And then the other rank 3 we play, I just wanted a universal one, Break Sword. Just nice for just popping really anything on the board that's problematic. You just target 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them. So you would probably destroy him and 1 card your opponent controls. Just kind of nice. And then in case you get both your artifacts out, I thought it would be nice to play Artifact Durandal. Just some decent effects there. And then for the links, like I said, you're mostly going to be going into these guys, but it's nice to have a Platinum Gadget in case you open up some more machine types. You can special summon one to the zone. Mrs. Radiant, nice for gaining some attack power with some of your Earth monsters. So like if you got a couple Gear Gigant X and Mrs. Radiant, you'll have quite a bit of damage on board if you gain 500 attack for all of them. And then just generic removal, Spell and Traps, Phoenix, and then Cerberus for monsters. So that's the deck, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh yeah, let me show you real quick. So if you open up any one of these and just 1 Geargia Accelerator, so we'll say you open up Armor. So if you have Armor and Accelerator, ideally, so we'll say, you open up that, and a warning, whatever. Okay, let's say you open up this. So basically, these are our key cards right here. you're going to set the armor, you know, and then obviously set your traps. You know, activate trap tricks. You'll more than likely go into Sanctum, you know, activate your Sanctum to just restrict your opponent from summoning. You know, and hopefully just with that, you know, in your 2 back rows, or, you know, something like that, you'll be able to protect your armor so that you could then flip him, and this is on your turn, and you can add an augur, normal the augur, and then he'll search out another accelerator. So you have 2 accelerators in hand. Special summon that accelerator. Actually, probably just special summon both of them. And then go into your first Gigant X. Detach to then search out the last accelerator. You'll want to special summon that. Go into another Gigant X. Detach, add that to hand. Special summon this last one. And then again, go into your third Gigant X. So that's just getting 1 search off of armor. Like I said, and having 1 accelerator in hand. You can get 3 Gigant X and a scythe. And, you know, that's probably game if your opponent couldn't do anything. So that's just kind of cool. And then obviously off this last one, you would just add that back to hand. So just advantage, you know, gain. Obviously, because you did augur, you couldn't do anything except for machine type. But, you know, say you had another accelerator in hand, as opposed to searching out the augur, you could have just searched out an accelerator, and then you could have gone into any links here, or sorry, any rank 4 monsters. So you could have done, you know, this last one could have been something like, I don't know, Dugaris, and then he could just double the attack of Gigant X, you know, and then that would probably help you go for game. So that's the deck, guys. Like I said, really fun deck, very control-y, very like a nostalgic deck for a lot of people, because this was back in the day, this was a very good deck. Now it's like nothing, but it's still fun nonetheless. So yeah, if you guys like this kind of stuff, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll catch you on the next one.